My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Alright, today is January 28, 2023. It is 6:58 a.m. It's a Saturday. This is video number 2. I'm trying to make it as quick as possible before the kids get up, and then there'll be too much noise. So let's go on Twitter. I have a lot of things. I was gonna do this one first, which I posted on my community board. I shared the link, and the link will be in the description in this video as well. But I just came across this. So I want to get it out of the way before I get too deep into what I've already set up for you. So this is Chris Evans. I literally just saw this, and he posted this picture, and then he retweeted that. Okay, CNBC has canceled Money Court starring Kevin O'Leary and former Ronnie star Bethany Frankel as the network pivot away from original primetime programming, according to Deadline. Okay, I didn't even know they had a show. I don't even know. Like I said, I don't have cable for me to know about this. So there's some comments here. Try harder, Bethany. Stay pressed. Well, the squad are putting their things here. I love this for Bethany. There's the laugh. People are laughing. Good. I, for one, cannot stomach Bethany Frankel. All right. Emojis. OMG. All right. So let me see what the thing says. This one. TV Deets. It's a thread. Okay, actual photo of me begging Bethany to join Ronnie Legacy. Okay, who's TV Deets? Reality TV news and rating. Okay, so whoever this person is that. Okay, karma. Allow your enemies their space to hate. They will destroy themselves in the process. All right, there's a lot of GIF. She keeps getting canceled first season, but they keep giving her shows. Okay, people are going to learn to leave Duchess Meghan alone. Alright, everything non-housewives related show she touched turns to sand. Okay, I don't follow her. The only housewife that I watched when it first came out was Orange County. Okay, that's the only one that I watch. But I don't know if they still have them, or every year they have a different groups. Okay, good for haters. Bethany Frankel. Bethany, has a way of striking. Alright, so let's see. Is there an article to see why it was? No, that's it. There's no article. Alright, so this is another one related to that. I'm getting this out of the way. This is a squaddy who retweeted as well. See, ha ha ha. They put GIF of Meghan in different positions of smiling. The smirk. There's that. Okay, let's see what else they're saying. There's the retweet. According to Deadline, Bethany Frankel CNBC series has been cancelled after 1 season. I need a camera on learning now. Okay. I mean, when it seems like when you're a TV personality or something like that, you just need to don't go places, don't instigate, because there was no reason for her to go after Meghan or say some negative things. Sometimes you could just keep those things to yourself. Oh my God, there's that, there's a. And one thing I realized, there's some YouTube channels I used to watch during the Johnny Depp thing, and some of the things that they're saying about Meghan, I don't think okay, I just told YouTube don't recommend the video from them anymore. Okay, I stopped sharing channels with you guys, so if you know, you know, but I don't want to start things between channel. But I was very disturbed to see how they're talking about Meghan. Okay, especially when one thing we had in common is the thing that they what Johnny Depp was going through. Okay, can have happened to a nicer gal. Good riddance to a nasty nuisance. Okay, so let's go to what I wanted to talk about. So this is what I've put on my list for me to share with you. After that, I have 2, 4, 6 tweets to share with you. They might take long because there's a lot of things to discuss. Okay, Dominic Day is a U.S. human rights attorney and chair of the UN Working Group of Experts on People of African Descent. She's the top expert and never saw anything like the UK. All right, so this will be in the description. Okay, UK failing to address systematic racism against black people, one UN expert. Working group of experts on people of African descent calls for halt on use of joint enterprise and strip search. There was some stuff I used to share. I think what happened to a young girl in the UK who had her period. I shared this. It's on this channel. Okay, this was supposed to be my backup. Is topic like this I will put on this channel, but since PYTE is going to some stuff right now, so everything is falling into this, because after tomorrow this is old news. Nobody will care about that. Okay, thank you for sending me this. 2 years ago, the UN Human Rights Committee already raised the alarm about racism in the UK. What did the government do? They ordered some bogus research that concluded that there was no racism in the UK. There's just xenophobia. It's alive and kicking its ugly head everywhere. Okay, there's this. Actually, I made a mistake. Some years ago, the UN raised the alarm on racism in the UK, but 2 years ago, UN condemned UK government report saying racism in the UK was non-existent as being poppycock, a big lie, but then lying is a Tory specialty besides being an enemy of problem in the UK. So many things to say. I didn't read that article yet, but I thought it was a good thing to share with you because I read the headline, so the link will be in the description. I already have it on my community board. Okay, let's go to the next tweet. This is where things starting to get very heated. Okay, wow. White Russians invaded your country, forcing you to flee, but it's the black and brown kids at your son's new school you fear. Okay, so let's listen to that. It's 1 minute and 5 seconds. I will stop in between.
But those cultural differences weren't often talked about when Andrea signed up to the Homes for Ukraine scheme. She lives in a diverse part of Birmingham. After a week of staying there, her guests told her there were too many Muslims in the area.
Okay, one thing, this is what I heard this video already before I recorded. One that really shows Harry was right. It's not the UK people that's racist. It's the British media, okay, that is racist. Because when at the beginning of the war, you know, they were taking in how do they call that? Refugees, people from the Ukraine war to come and live in the UK. So what they did is that refugees from other country, this is the thing, how they're balancing thing, and to make things somewhat to their favor, people from different countries, let's say Pakistan, black and brown countries, okay, they ship them to Africa. Okay, what part of Africa? Rwanda. Okay, they shipped them to Rwanda, but they were taking in the same mindset that they have, the Ukrainian. And at the beginning of the war, if you look at this channel, I think it was this channel, I was sharing some of the war information that was going on Twitter. Then when I start hearing stuff about when people were trying to get out of Ukraine, there were students from different countries, black and brown students. They were letting people know there was racism going on. Okay, and once I start listening, at first I brushed it off, but it was a constant kind of thing I was hearing on Twitter. I stopped reporting or sharing what was going on in Ukraine. Now, when I come across this, I was like, it's worth sharing. Okay, so that's one thing to take away. I think I said two different things. One is that Harry is proven right. It's not the UK citizen that's racist. It's the British media. And then I stopped reporting about the war in Ukraine because of things that I was hearing. Okay, so that's two things I said within that pause of that video. All right, let's listen.
Shocked at how difficult.
I'm sorry. I'm going to rewind it slightly. I'm going to start all over because I stopped and talked too much.
But those cultural differences weren't often talked about when Andrea signed up to the Homes for Ukraine scheme. She lives in a diverse part of Birmingham. After a week of staying there, her guest told her there were too many Muslims in the area.
We were quite shocked at how difficult she found different cultures.
She felt there were just too many Muslims.
Too many Muslims, too many people with different skin colours.
Her guest's son was enrolled into the local school.
And it's whatever it is that they're feeding them over there, okay, in their home country. But yet, when you think about it, they're killing them. Okay, I know for a fact, okay, because I read them and some of them I didn't report. They're killing, they're raping, okay. There's a old woman, just use your imagination of the word that I just said here, okay, they did in their home country. But yet, after all of this, they fear from a different country people with different skin color, okay, but not the bomb, you know, shedding in their country,
where the majority of children happen to be black and Asian.
And then to just have her complain about the demographic of the school and going, well, he can't be safe there. There's not enough white kids, essentially. The majority of my neighbours are Muslims. A lot of them are Kashmiris or Pakistanis, Indians, and they're wonderful people.
There's the thing, to solidify Harry's point of view. This Brit is not racist. She learned to live with other cultures. She's fine with it. Okay, and I think she had to tell her guests to leave or something.
And you just felt if you just would sort of give them the time, perhaps we'd come to the same conclusion.
They both agreed to end the placement.
Yep, they left. Yep, let's see here, there's that. Just over 100,000 Ukrainians have sought refuge in the UK, but not all of them have found it easy to settle into a country where the ethnic diversity and cultural values are very different from Ukraine. It's not funny, but they have bombed raining on them, but yet this is what they fear. So they need to go back then. Oh my God. Okay, remember the Peace Corps warned black volunteer that they will be called the N-word and monkey when aiding people there. So why the hell do you have to go there to help them? This is why I stop sharing the information over there. Whatever happens, happens now. Okay, let's see here. Peace Corps, possible consideration for African American or black volunteer. As I'm reading this, I'm thinking something Nance. It's he was a former intelligent for the U.S. government, and he went to Ukraine to fight, and I think he came back. But whatever. Okay, I'm not gonna read all of this, just the highlight part here. Okay, it's not uncommon for Ukrainian to refer to African American as the N-word. Volunteer of color may be called a monkey or may be seen children games with blackface. Wow, being aware of the history of the humanization of people of African descent may help inform where this comes from. It does not justify it. It will be at your discretion to determine the intent. No matter the intent, staff recognizes the impact that hearing that word may invoke hurt and anger. If you view it as unlearned something the person has never been exposed to, it may be an opportunity for you to educate that person. We are here to support your successful service, and these comments and images can be a huge distraction and obstacle for you. And the thing is that if the Peace Corps feel like this is something to say, shouldn't they take it also upon themselves to educate the Ukrainian as well? All right, so why even bother if this is what you're gonna be called at? All right, so there's that. You could read that. It does not justify it. Peace Corps guidance for black volunteer in Ukraine causes a stir after being exposed on Twitter. Okay, April 5th, 2022. Some corner of social media are in an uproar over the U.S. Peace Corps guidance on handling racism in Ukraine. Peace Corps position in Ukraine are currently not open, but black Peace Corps volunteers who apply were warned to be prepared to be called the N-word and face other racist behavior while in Ukraine, according to guidance on the Peace Corps website that is currently being discussed on social media. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Not everyone deserves a helping hand. There it is. Yeah, the racism and stupidity are deep. There's that. How Christian of you, isn't this exactly how you show a culture who are not using the multiculturalism that all color matters. Don't be a dick. Why are you cussing him out? They will, if he goes over there, if this is his picture, if he goes over there to help, and then they're gonna dehumanizing him. So this is why he's saying not everyone deserve. He didn't say need, deserve it, because if he's going out of his way, I've shared some stuff with you. There were trains that were bombed by the Well Central Kitchen stuff. Okay, I don't know if it's on this channel or PYTE. Okay, you have many of these people will be risking their life to go help. So if they're going to help and then they're gonna be dehumanized, why would you risk your life for that? There's other people who might, other white countries probably, who will show decent decent respect if they get the help from any person of color. So this person, I would rather help. Okay, let's see here. Now they're using that Christian card here. There's that because a group of people of a country are racist. So it should be acceptable. May I remind you of racism in the US. Okay, don't assume my religion for me. The second part of your tweet is funny though. Alright, fair. I don't know whether you're Christian, but it's okay. You could read what's there. Alright, so blaming them, whatever. Racism and stupidity are deep. Yep, there's more here. Alright, my friend has been hosting a Ukrainian refugee and her child is using the translator app on their phones. Says she was worried about all the bandit. When she exploded, she was referring to young black boys and their school uniform. Oh my God. I'm from the Philippines. I went to a private school that was very diverse. We had Asians, European, Mexican, Egyptian. It was so nice. One time this Indian mom was complaining that there were too many Filipinos. Her son's class. I told her to go back to India. Same sentiment. Exactly. That's why they're going through what they're going through now. Okay, met few of these people and the attitude toward melanin people is just awful. Especially they have deep-seated hatred for Muslim. Okay, imagine being racist and yet fleeing a country at war with people who are also white. There's the face here. I mean, one can go back home. Exactly. Solution, Rwanda. That is exactly that. I believe this is why they took some of the refugees and moved to Rwanda. Okay, I'll come back to this. Okay, let's bookmark this. There's 4 comment here and I think she muted it now. Okay, when people say racism is everywhere, this is what they mean. Fresh from a war zone and probably has never actually met anyone of color, much less seen them on TV, and has a gall to be pompous about skin tone. All right, let's go into that, and after this, that's it. Okay, I can see that. Okay, so I can this one. I have no doubt it is. I think you missed the subtlety of my point. Okay, we don't want her, right? So that they can bring their filthy attitude here. Okay, there. Ho, don't deserve such a beautiful land like Rwanda is. All right, let's go. No, the thing is that I think I got what she's saying, because I know why they're doing that. Because when you see the type of people they were shipping to Rwanda, there was a huge thing, uproar in the UK about that, and there was court orders, I think, to prevent it from happening. But they line up all those people of color, okay, whichever part of the world they come from, they felt like they deserve to be of Rwanda. If that was the case, these that were already here, why didn't they send the Ukrainian to Rwanda? Why didn't they do that? When you look at the pro and con of this, the British monarchy want white people to glorify them. Okay, so if these people already have the same sentiment of the monarchy, why not keep this so when they go places to be applauded? I don't know. That's what I got from this. Solution, Rwanda. And was it when Chuck was trying to say something, what did they say? They told him to shut up. Okay, when they were shipping those people to Rwanda, I think it was just a pretense of things, but they told him to shut up. Next tweet. Okay, same topic. Ukrainian fleeing war and seeking refuge in the UK complain because the UK has too many black and brown people in it. Please explain how you can be fleeing a war but still have time to be racist. It's not funny, but it's true, right? Let them sleep on the street somewhere. They're still out of the Ukraine. Okay, these are the problem I love to have. Go back to where you came from. Spring to mind. Why Ukrainians are even described as refugees. That said, refugees do face many issues and integrated. The refugee label is reserved for black and brown people. Ever grateful to be away from war and violence or economical challenges. Never hear them say OMG to many white people. Okay, they were being racist while they were fleeing. Remember, they were stopping black and brown people from getting on the train out of the Ukraine. This is when I started reporting about that, about what was going on in Ukraine. All right, the amount of trauma that must be in her mind, it baffled me. I'll be more concerned about PTSD from seeing the Russian invasion than worry about my black and Asian doctors, nurses, and friends, neighbors showing me compassion for my experiences. There'll be positive thoughts. Okay, there is always time for racism, it seems. That's for sure. That's the reason why they embrace here over other refugee flee wars. Okay, will this refugee care to remind me again what color the people trying to kill time back home were? Okay, will these refugees care to remind me again what color the people trying to kill time back home are? All right, well, it's called the audacity of caucasity. The Caucasian racism has been for everything. Okay, go back to where I came from. Always wanted to say this. All right, let's go to the next one. It's a video. Okay, I want to do this quick. I'm kind of hungry now. Next tweet. Okay, so this is very interesting. Okay, that might take a little bit longer. This is a TikTok video, 3 minutes. Okay, quote, how ridiculous do you think it sounds when Asian are anti-black when it was black Americans and black civil rights leaders who ensured that Asian will get their immigration rights back? Okay, that's from this person, Kazim Rashid. All right, 3 minutes. Let's listen. I will stop in between. Okay.
I'm making this video as an Asian American to address my fellow Asian Americans who engage in anti-black racism. Let's talk about this. For example, this right-wing Asian says, let me list all the problems that black Americans face that is shared by people of no other race. Okay, list over. Yes, it is true. If a black person has a problem, an Asian or white person has the same problem somewhere in America. There's nothing special about your race. This is, in short,
there's nothing special about your race. But when you look at things, a lot of cultural dancing, when you look at, what's that, those Korean pop stars, what do they call them, K-pop or something? When you look at the way they dance, you think that this originates from them. I don't even follow them, but occasionally when I see some of their videos, where do you think their dance move came from? Huh? Okay, a lot of their things are from African Americans kind of culture, or African in particular. My goodness. Okay, this is why I think I retweeted this and I said this is why they don't want to, Florida doesn't want to teach African studies in the schools, because they don't want people to know the truth about African American history. But let's listen to him.
White supremacy talking points. Let's address this. Here's just a very short list of the unique suffering that black Americans have had to and still have to go through. 266 years enslavement, 99 years of Jim Crow, 300% maternal mortality rate, 2% the wealth of whites, explicitly denied the GI Bill, FHA loans, and college admissions, and Social Security access. SCOTUS ruled approval to commit black genocide in Buck versus Bill, which, by the way, has never actually been overruled. Arrested 10 times more than whites for the exact same acts.
Wow, he bring the facts here. And so many massacres that happened in the US, especially, was it Black Wall Street? My goodness, they don't even want to teach those things.
And don't even get me started on the dozens and dozens of black massacres committed by white supremacists throughout American history, through the 1980s, by vigilante groups, and by state government. Massacres for which reparations were never paid, and none of the white supremacists were ever held accountable. And as an Asian American and human rights lawyer, I'm acutely aware of the anti-Asian racism throughout American history. Everything from the Chinese Exclusion Act to the...
Okay, he must be mixed, because there's cause when you look at China in terms of the map, it's very wide. And I'm saying this because I'm aware of certain things with my husband's side. They mix. So he must be mixed with either the border countries, Pakistan, India, those areas, okay, Afghanistan. So he's mixed. Okay, let's listen.
The Asiatic Exclusion League to the outright ban on Asian immigration in 1924. So how ridiculous do you think it sounds when Asians are anti-black, when it was black Americans and black civil rights leaders who ensured that Asians would get their immigration rights back as part of the 1965 Civil Rights Acts? The civil rights movement influenced U.S. immigration policy intimately because black civil rights leaders recognized their own history and did not want that same suffering on Asian Americans. Therefore, leaders like Dr. King demanded that Asian Americans, Latino Americans, basically anyone non-white immigrating to the United States would be given dignity and humanity.
Again, like I said at the beginning of this video, this is why they do not want to teach black history in the school, because this will open too many people's eyes. So the more confusion between different groups, okay, you know, the lower class, lower group, well, the US doesn't have class system. I would say more in terms of racism kind of thing. Different groups are fighting each other. That's what they want. So that way they could remain in power. All right, but let's continue.
And finally, let's address this nonsense claim that black people are the reason why Asian Americans can't get admission to Harvard or other Ivy League schools. Affirmative action is not your problem, because if you really blamed affirmative action, you would be blaming white women. Why? Because more white women have benefited from affirmative action than every other racial demographic and minority combined.
Dear white women, what the fuck is your purpose, huh? What the fuck is your purpose, huh? What the fuck is your purpose? Other than ruining the motherfucking casserole, what the fuck is your purpose other than voting against your better interests? What the fuck is your purpose other than running the motherfucking coals with expired coals cash, knowing damn well that shit been expired since 2010? Talk about, I want to speak to your manager. I want to buy something for my Timothy. It should still be good. It seems like every year white women just keep getting worse. Aren't they getting worse? If you look at the electorate, white women continue to vote for Republicans. Every year it keeps going up. It keeps going up. So my question is, why should we trust a lily white hoe?
Because more white women have benefited from affirmative action than every other racial demographic and minority combined.
White women can't be trusted. Well, no, Kenny, don't be so mean to them. You know, white suburban women are going to get it together. No, you're not. If you ain't got it together then, you ain't going to get it together now. Y'all didn't even vote for your own white sister Hillary. Why the fuck should we trust white women?
Because more white women have benefited from affirmative action than every other racial demographic and minority combined.
And the thing that's really pissing me off is we continue to coddle these white women while we keep shitting on black women. We keep shitting on black voters. But we always put all this stock into white women that are never going to fucking show up for us. That's continue to vote against their own better interests. Because why the... And this is the other shit that it pisses me off. Well, shouldn't we blame white men just as much as we blame white women? Maybe. But here's the bullshit that I have a problem with that is, I understand why white men are voting. Because white men are voting for their own better interests, which is keeping power, patriarchy. It makes sense. But why the fuck do a white woman think that she even has a motherfucking say? If she's constantly voting for a white man who's telling her that you don't have agency over your own fucking body. And the reason why y'all don't want to teach critical race theory is not about what's going on in the past, it's what's going on in the motherfucking present. The thing that's confusing me is how can you hide what's in motherfucking plain sight? We see your lily white racist ass through the motherfucking window. Let's keep it 100, let's keep it a buck. The real reason why these white people don't want their kids to learn about critical race theory is because they don't want their kids to grow up knowing that their parents are monsters. Every day you guys wake up early and look yourself in the mirror and you know you ain't shit. You know you're racist. You don't want your kids to know that you're a monster.
Yet at no...
And this is why they keep on voting against their best interests. Okay, when you look at the last election that just happened, majority of them, white women, who vote against their best interests. And then they crying foul what's happening to Roe versus Wade. Okay?
Point do these Asian Americans who are anti-black and blame black people for affirmative action even bring up white women? Moreover, over 43% of white admissions to schools like Harvard would not have gotten admissions on credentials alone. They got admitted because they're legacy students. And the data shows that 3/4 of those white students were not qualified academically, meaning they took the spot of a more qualified black, Latino, or Asian person. But it's funny how these anti-black Asians have zero regard for this white supremacist policy of legacy.
Let's not forget, not too long ago, there was that scandal. They have a name for it, where many celebrities pay this particular person to get their kids to the top school and stuff like that. All right, so let's not forget about that.
But they want to blame black people. This is white supremacy in a nutshell. And to those Asians who say, hey, look, I stand with black people, I don't believe in this kind of anti-black racism, that isn't enough. You need to speak out and condemn this injustice with your voice and your actions.
Exactly. Exactly. I like that. All right, let's see here. Asian are anti-black. We stay silent and appreciate American opportunities. Stop being divisive. Talk about new shit. All right, let's see here. Oh, I think I bookmarked this as well, so I may not. Okay, let's see here. I will listen to that as well. Okay, Asian American are giving white privilege, especially the Asian American who fit the model minority stereotype. The quid pro quo for receiving that privilege is upholding white supremacy culture, which means being anti-black. Okay, so let's listen to this. This is a very good one too. I listened to it. 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Please be patient with me because there's so much here. I think the quick answer is that Asian Americans are given white privilege, especially the Asian Americans who fit the model minority stereotype. The quid pro quo for receiving that privilege is upholding white supremacy culture, which means being anti-black. I was talking with somebody last night who was pointing out that the Civil Rights Amendment was passed in 1964. But also in the 1960s, the United States opened the door to Asian immigration. So now you have an influx of racial minorities who knew nothing about the history of white violence against black people, knew nothing about the black civil rights movement. So they arrived with...
I hope more Asian people speak, their truth, whatever knowledge they know. Because there's this... YouTube channel that I watch. I haven't watched in a while. It's this Korean guy, I believe he's Korean, who married this where she's from. She was born in is it Qatar, or look at the screen when I'm editing. I think I will remember. But her country don't even recognize her because her parents, one of them is Asian and the other one is Muslim. Okay, so I think right now she's living in Canada. I forgot their YouTube channel. And when they were getting married, she didn't tell, something happened with her father. Okay, her father did not approve because he's marrying someone who's not Muslim. But the guy parent, okay, who's Korean, did not approve of the marriage because she's black. Oh my God, so many crazy things going on. But they sealed their deal. I think now they have 2 children. I haven't watched their channels quite some time. I have no time. If I'm putting videos out every day, I have no time to watch any YouTube channels. So this just remind me. Well, they're in Canada, so that's a different story, but it crossed my mind. But the key point here, the more different groups speak out the truth, even though those white governors who's preventing school from teaching history, guess what? If we're telling facts on the internet, maybe many kids will stumble upon those information to educate themselves. Okay, so let's continue.
With civil rights, not understanding how that came to be. And also, it effectively erased the United States' own anti-Asian history, because Asian Americans came in not necessarily knowing about the Chinese Exclusion Act or the internment of Japanese Americans in the United States during World War.
The Japanese went through a lot too. Okay, I'm moving it back slightly.
Exclusion Act or the internment of Japanese Americans in the United States during World War II. And I think that Asian Americans are used as a buffer between the black community and the white community, because in the 1960s, there was almost a racial reckoning. The white power structure almost had to face accountability for the history of violence against black people. But instead, Asian Americans were inserted and we're pit against each other, so that we're always up against each other, and that basically like white supremacy escapes accountability.
Yeah, they stay in the back. They put the Asian to confronted blacks instead, and then they move away. Yeah, and then they stay at the position. I'm glad some more people are talking.
And the example that I think of that sort of started like the root of a lot of tension is Asian Americans were buying into the negative media stereotypes of black people. And then in the events that led up to what became known as the LA riots, the LAPD kettled protests away from wealthy white neighborhoods and into Koreatown.
Wow.
And then they left.
Wow. Damn, I wish I could hear more. I didn't know about this. And Megan sort of brought the LA riot as well in one of her podcasts. Let me read about this and then go into that, because there's 12 coming. God bless you, as
Please be
Kusim.
patient with me because
God bless you at Kushim Washid. That's the guy who started the thread. The truth is so soothing. I wish more people will tell it. Okay, thank you. So let's go into that. Let's see. Oh, there was a bullseye. There's no more comments. Okay, bullseye, nothing but the truth here. Thank you. Okay, now you know. So what's the problem? Okay, 100% disagree. If Asian are giving white privilege, why is it there not a huge representation of Asian in Hollywood, music industry, major sports like NBA, MLB, NFL? Why are Asian not having held the highest office in government, not have historic college specific to Asian? Okay. Many of them are look, I think is it Boston? I don't know if it's is governor or what is it? Governor or mayor? Let me look while I'm at mayor of Boston. I think it's Asian. Yep, there it is. All right, mayor of. Let's go to. There's her. All right, Michelle Wu sworn in as Boston's first woman and Asian American mayor. So many of these people, they have to be passionate about it. They have to want to be in the position. You don't just place people there because of their color or whatever. Like the guy was saying in the video, there are many black and Asian and different cultures or background who were more qualified to be at Harvard than those white people who were there.
Where 43% of white admissions at schools like Harvard would not have gotten admissions on credentials alone. They got admitted because they're legacy students. And the data shows that 3/4 of those white students were not qualified academically, meaning they took the spot of a more qualified black, Latino, or Asian person.
So you have to put yourself out there to be in the position, not because this is a black person. Oh, there's a black person. And you can't put me to be a mayor. I never had experience. Do I want to be a mayor? No. Okay, so those type of people have to want to be there. It's when they want to be there and then the barrier keeps on happening. Okay, all right, which one I was here? There's that. There's that. Disagree 100, drop 100%. Major facts: Asian and other non-black person of color are silent when black Americans are suffering but want us to do the grunt work to ensure they come up, meaning they're anti-black as F. Okay, so I saw this come and I thought I share. Many people not saying go out of your way to do certain things, but speak up. Because I'm telling you, once black people don't give a F, and then you face with these people that will face you on your own. I have that thumbnails on my other channel. Where is it? Divided you will fall or something like that. I'll put it on. It was during the 2020 election, and I was like, this is the group of people who make Biden become president. Because when you look at majority of whites and white women, they vote against their best interests. So I had bookmarked this separately So I went on it already, and I'm not gonna listen to it again. But I retweeted it. I said, in my humble opinion, this is one of the reasons Florida is preventing Black history to be taught in school. The more people know, the less likely white privilege. Not knowing and penning one against another, they benefit. Hope more groups share their knowledge, even if they don't want to teach these things. All right, so 5 people like it, 1 retweet. All right, I have one more video, and then that's it. There's this. Okay, your Jesus is contaminated. I agree. All right, so there's that. It's 1 minute and 35 seconds. All right, so I bookmark my. Okay, a Black History Month classic read Black Twitter. Whose wonderful granddaddy is this a-hole? All right, 1 minute and 35 seconds.
Exists because white people think they're better than black people, and they want to oppress us, and they want us to allow ourselves to be oppressed.
This is the big. I agree with you perfectly. This is the basic problem.
Then what do you
that white people think they're better than others?
I can't solve the problem. You guys pull the strings that close schools. You guys draw the boundaries that keep our kids restricted to the ghetto. You guys write up the restrictive covenants that keep us out of houses. So it's up to you to talk to your brothers and your sisters and persuade them that they have a responsibility. We've assumed ours for over 400 years.
Oh my God, he is spot on. And look at what's going on in Florida. Instead of teaching their kids to be something different, nope, they rather not teach it at all. So at the end of the day, when you look at the things that's happening and they're not willing to learn and change, so who are these people gonna end up with? They're gonna end up with each other. Oh my goodness, it's like self-destruction.
And we're tired of this kind of stuff now. We're not going to suffer patiently anymore. No more turning the other cheek. No more blessing our enemies. No more praying for those who despitefully use us. We're going to show you that we've learned the lessons you've taught us. We've studied your history, and you did not take over this country by singing "We Shall Overcome." You did not gain control of the world like you have it now by dealing fairly with a man and keeping your word.
Damn, why is he sweating so much? I don't know. When some of the thing he was saying, I don't know why I'm thinking of Tina and Michelle when they keep on saying they're not Michelle Obama. They'll put their stiletto heels and crush it. That's what came to mind, but let me move it back slightly.
You did not take over this country by singing "We Shall Overcome." You did not gain control of the world like you have it now by dealing fairly with a man and keeping your word. You're treaty breakers, you're liars, you're thieves, you rape entire continents and races of people. Then you wonder why these very people don't have any confidence or trust in you. Your religion means nothing. Your law is a farce, and we see it every day. You demonstrated it in Alabama. And I can say you because you're part of the whole system.
Wow.
You profit from it. In fact, you make your living from it. You couldn't walk around and talk to people, stand up in your pulpit on Sunday and preach nice little songs and say, now we're going to give thanks to the Lord for he is good and old Jesus be among us. As far as we're concerned, your Jesus is contaminated, just like everything else you've tried to force upon us is contaminated.
Oh my God, the thing that I be saying about the UK religion, I was like, oh my God, he said it perfectly here. Your Jesus is contaminated. I agree. I agree.
Well, so you can have him.
My goodness. Okay, my God, he read this man and white supremacy into the ether. There's more here, but I'm not gonna go to that. You could go on YouTube and watch it. A Time for Burning. Okay, love this documentary. Every couple of years, I sit down and rewatch it, called A Time for Burning. Watch on YouTube for free. Okay, I'm not gonna play it here. This one is oh my God, they're putting a lot of videos. I will not play all of them, only the clips that they share here, and I will stop in between. You want to watch it, go search it on YouTube. All right, let's listen to this.
We've been misled by our leadership, for instance. They think that we can consume our way into equality and sees equality as an equality of materials. So if I have the same car as a white person, if I have the same house as a white person, you know, a similar job, then I'm equal. But you cannot consume yourself into equality. You must produce yourself into equality, and you move into equality and beyond by productive thinking. Because as long as you're consuming knowledge or you're consuming materials, the guy who is giving it to you or selling it to you is producing at the same time, which means that you never catch up with him because he's always 2 or 3 steps ahead of you. To a good extent, many of our students go in.
Let me rewind it again. This is very interesting. The person who's teaching you in a way is always producing, but you sitting there listening to him, but you're not producing anything. Oh my God, this is the way he put it is so well put.
Who is giving it to you or selling it to you is producing at the same time, which means that you never catch up with him because he's always 2 or 3 steps ahead of you. To a good extent, many of our students go into schools, college as well as secondary levels, consuming, and their minds are not being developed to produce the true means by which they will accomplish equality. Everything else is sham.
Wow, this is powerful. Let me bookmark this.
We've been misled.
Let me see, there's one comment here. Headliner clip, caption. Okay, let's go back. Okay, who's that? This is Nebraska State Sen Ernie Chambers. Okay, what about him? I don't know. Okay, thank you, Janet. I wasn't aware. Okay, and he felt his legislation and work for Nebraska was more important than work wardrobe. No nonsense. Can we love him more? Okay, so he goes to work like, okay, thank you. Okay, nice, he is okay. He said a word right there, all truth. Okay, is that him? No. Okay, let's go back. There's something I just... Where's the thing I was just listening? No, that's not him. Okay, let's see here. Wow, that clip, A Time for Burning, free on YouTube. Okay, so you guys could go watch that. I'm surprised that little man didn't just turn into ash on the spot. And brother, man did it in the calmness tone whilst cutting some hair. God damn, he said. Okay, today we cook. What is this clip taken from? That's my man, Ernie Chambers Sr. I grew up with his youngest and he just retired as state senator for North Omaha. Okay, headline clip, caption. Okay, well damn, my own ears were burning for a minute and a half, but not a single lie was told, and off the cuff too. Yep, listening to learn. If you're young and haven't heard it enough, for the mature crowd, it's a variation on the theme well said. Alright, wow, this is truth-telling right here, and they know it's true, which is why they no longer want Black history taught in school. This is what I was saying. I hope other person of color and white women understand that Black history is just the beginning. What is it? WS always start with black, but for its success, white male patriarchy has to be foremost. There's that. Oh, he ate them up. Okay, their God means nothing to them but vengeance and supremacy. But if we say an eye for an eye, they get nervous and want us to stand down. Alright, the great Ernie Chambers, no lies detected, bookmarking this perfect response. Alright, who on earth is this? The influency, the accuracy. Pretty sure this was the genesis of Shish. Okay, who is the brilliant man? Every word 100%. The black barbershop is the safest space in the world to speak freely. Alright, after this, that's it. Period. Source, please. The great Ernie Chambers, still brilliant to this day. I beg somebody to please put the ether beat to that. Okay, truth upon truth upon truth. Alright, so this is it. Let's do prayer. Alright, what shall we pray about? Prayer. Okay, so she's 38. Wow, 1985. Very young, 38. Boston mayor since 2021, Democratic Party. You don't just put somebody there because she's black or Asian or whatever. They have to be qualified and be willing to do it as well. All right, prayer for world equality. All right, let's see what comes up. Okay, fill the hearts of all people with your love and the desire to ensure justice for all their brothers and sisters. By sharing the good things of the earth, may we secure justice and equality for every human being, an end to all division, and a human society built on love and peace. All right, let's go to image. Let's do this one. Okay. Okay, God of the universe, long ago you spoke through an angel to your servant, Mary, who opened her entire being in response to your creative word. And the gift of that word, she carried Christ in her womb and into the world. Today, you are speaking through your spirit to the heart of women around the world, inviting them to be Christ's bearer, to serve in the sacramental priesthood of the church. They have heard you, and like Mary, they hunger to respond with their entire being. Give courage and freedom to them, to the citizen of your church, both women and men, to open and embrace the sacred space that will make their priesthood a living reality in today's world, which waits in the need of the gift they are called to bring to your table. Amen. All right, this then really do it for me. Let's see here. Pray, Lord, we thank you that you change heart and minds through your word. We pray that you will guide us on daily basis to be your hands and hearts on earth wherever we find ourselves. Amen. Alright, so that's it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. New subscribers, welcome. 2 of you. Alright, so that is it.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life.